If you've ever been on YouTube in the past decade, chances are you've heard of the name Amberlynn Reid. If not, buckle up. Whether it's from one of her famous mukbang videos, countless weight loss journeys, or the never ending waves of controversy, Amberlynn is a creator for the people, either of which you support or critique. Either agree to critique. This is a deep dive into everything, the full timeline of her life on YouTube from the first upload in 2013, by the way, through every relationship, every scandal, every health update, and the chaotic vlog energy that she continues to share with her almost 255,000 subscribers as of August 4th. Let's get into the origins and early YouTube days because this is very fascinating to me. Amberlynn created her YouTube channel back in September 2011, but didn't upload until November 18th, 2013. Her first video, by the way, was called Nervous, Awkward, and Weight Loss Vlog, which, as you know, during the 2000s up until this point, weight loss was a very normal content, so she was right on the money. Ignore that my camera's shaky, please. Right on the money. She started with a goal that she connected with deeply with an audience at the time, documenting her journey of losing over 200 pounds. The early videos were quite raw, quiet, and full of potential. When you talk about weight loss, it usually means a lot for people, especially with people who have done weight loss journeys in the past to today. So it does had potential, and I think she would have been more successful today if she would have stuck with this. But this later the cracks begin to appear in her YouTube career. So let's go into where the cycle starts. So from 2013 to around 2018, Amber grew a fan base by promising weight loss updates, but this pattern, of diet constantly, her talking about her preferences, and then the fall offs, and then only to restart the cycle again. Fans coyed that this cycle, and it became to be a meme, even within her own community. So she had this continuation of, I'm walking for 3 minutes to eventually Amber completely couldn't keep with her own plans. It kept falling through. I'm on a diet, and then the next vlog is mukbang. So then let's talk about the mukbangs. We click into the mukbang community of her sitting in front of the camera, eating massive portions and talking about her life. The shift sparked a new wave of backlash, while many were saying that she was enabling her own unhealthy habits while trying to, profit attention. Her story times were interesting, and they were all about, it always led to health, talking about how I'm selling my health journey, guys, I'm selling my health journey, but it never really connected with anybody. So now we're into the controversies and criticism. Oh, this angle that started originally, she wasn't nearly as famous with her first famous. I will put famous in quotes because she's had popular moments, but she's not where she should be in terms of famousness, if you know what I mean. Like, there was infamous of what's called, we'll call it Shrimpgate, the consistent changing of her diet plans, getting and falling. Her tendency to downplay serious health issues was just not doing well. Then there was a leaked voice clips, often involving friends or partners, exposing her private thoughts and her problematic behavior. Lots of critics accused her of gaslighting, manipulation, and using her platform to control narratives. She was featured in multiple YouTube commentary videos and was often referred to in the articles online about being villainous, alongside her controversial, creators Onion, Obsidian. Right. We covered the basics of her channel, so where it started to where it is clearly a huge pivot. But let's talk about the real drama, and let's talk about Amber's romantic life and story life on its own. First came Crystal, her girlfriend, when she began vlogging. Then Destiny, who lived with Amber and was a huge part of her daily content. When Destiny left in 2017, fans were hooked. I mean, interested. It was pretty, not devastating, but pretty confusing on the timeline of that. So, when Destiny left in 2017, she soon began dating Becky, who was a partner for several years. In 2021, they got engaged, but only a few months later, they broke up. Becky said she didn't feel supported. Amber said that the relationship wasn't working. And in true Amberlynn fashion, it all was played out on camera. There was actually multiple times between Destiny and Becky's relationships where they clearly weren't comfortable with constantly being filmed. And Amberlynn seemed to cover that pretty well within their relationships. People started, speculating truth between the two relationships during her first 6, 7 years online was it seemed, but after some of the controversial things started popping up on people's, FYP, was she was hiding the fact that the relationships weren't ever doing well. And the common denominator was Amberlynn Reid. According to a lot of sources and according to people who know her personally, this sweet relationship, love story that was constantly happening between Destiny and them now with Becky for years was that Amberlynn really was just, constantly for content. And that's all the relationship was content related basics. It was anything from personal conversations all the way to eating at restaurants just one on a date night, and it always turned into content. It was always content. So next wifey that later joins the verse is Jade or Fallon, I think. The relationship was more private but was still a bunch of red flags for viewers mid 2023 that ended too. That one was not as long lasting as the other two relationships, considering that also this person felt unsupported. And now we get into the whole controversial between Crystal's updates recently. Amberlynn seems to still have stories, and it's kind of jarring. One of the most serious moments in Amberlynn's YouTube journey came in 2020. She received and revealed that she had been diagnosed with cancer, or uterine cancer. The news stunned both her and the supporters and the critics. She underwent a full hysterectomy, and her channel briefly tuned into, updates, recovery, and the emotional struggles. But even this chapter was controversial. Some accused her of using the diagnosis and symptoms and the sympathy for views. Others stood by her, saying that it was the most real she's ever been. But she just couldn't let it go. She would cry on vlogs. She would go live constantly too. People are accusing her, and she's, nervous and anxious all the time. And that's her first hospital visit. The timeline of her hospital visit started around 2015 and consistently continued for vlogs and updates. It also contributed to her health crisis of her saying why she can never, she go on this whole health journey, but she can't because of her thyroidism and her ability to have liver issues and now cancer. But it wasn't actually just cancer. It was a small chance of cancer, so they had to fully, do it to, help. But she took that cancer and she clung on to it like a lifeline for her channel for months. She talked about it for months, which got her some attention. I mean, enough for her to get a bunch more views. Shift chapters. So now here we are, mid 2020 era. And over time, her context starts to shift. I mean, while the weight loss still exists, Amber's videos now often resemble chaotic and personal, diary where she is rambling, emotional, sometimes tearful, sometimes manic. Fans and people, even I would coin it as like her manic from 2022, 2023, still posting, health vlogs, and she says, "Can I be honest? I'm going to be honest for a second." And then she would ramble about something that no one knows if it's true or not because the inconsistencies from years past was proving to be, normal. Which is some days it's motivational, other days it's very deceiving, and some days she even admits to be trolling or baiting people for views. I mean, we're a lot of attention at this point too, but she's still not getting the attention she was thinking because her subscriber count pretty much capped at 255. At this point, she has like 100,000. So, and a lot of people who become part of her life, like Tom Hollick, plays in a factor. She has Halsey something. Some communities on Reddit and YouTube exist to analyze her everyday move, forming what we all call the Amberverse. Even when she's not uploading, people are still talking about her, and whether she likes it or not, these commentaries boost her relevancy. It's a toxic cycle, duh, of tension feeds in the drama, but the drama feeds views and it works. Um, During July, started going live a lot more consistently too. I mean, Amberlynn posting vlogs to now posting hour-long streams. So where is she currently as of today? She's still uploading. She's still living in Oklahoma, by the way. After she back to Oklahoma, she still has her three pets, and yes, she's still promising to start over, to change, to do better. Still loved and hated equal measures. Her subscriber count has kind of capped at 255, a long way from the explosive growth in her earlier, but still impressive for someone who has turned a personal drama into a decade-long career. Amberlynn is still a controversial figure by whether you see her in multiple attracting somewhat of attention seekers, someone who lost, you know, what to stand for. It happens in real life and she becomes an entertainer. You know, it's a lot. To handle. One of her biggest criticisms of her manipulating food narratives, she often claimed that she was eating healthy and order something small, only for viewers to catch the instant. One of my most famous examples of this is the instant where she ordered an apple from a meal delivery app from the infamous Panera, and includes one of my favorite things that she says is, I asked for an apple, but they gave me 2 bags of chips, but that's okay. And that moment became a viral meme. One line that she casually acceptance of unhealthy food became such a controversial weight thing. There's countless other moments like she didn't a binge meal but forgetting she filmed what she ate earlier, so she'll say, I haven't eaten all day. And then she eats a whole bag of Captain Crunch. She says one of her favorite things that she has said was to, like, they gave 2 fries. I don't remember ordering 2 fries. Who ordered this? Gaslighting Becky that one time when she ate Taco Bell. She was featured in multiple other videos too, of clips of her on TikTok over the last, years, or her constantly claiming that she didn't order foods. So she became a viral meme. But out of all of that, you think that would have boosted her content, but really, it kind of kept it for her. On TikTok side, however, it blew up. Some of the biggest things she trolled for too over the last couple of weeks is reading people's comments. One of them being this guy who sounded like an AI robot who basically said, "Oh, we support you. All you have people from fans all the way from, I think it was Egypt or something." People were like, "That's AI. Like she's reading that and saying thank you." She compliments herself while trolling through her vlogs. So it just became such an interesting thing to try to manipulate when you think she would know by now. By the way, to recap too, her early life began in Florida. After she then did that, she moved with Becky closer to her mom. And by the way, Amberlynn is born in 1990. I thought she was in her late 20s at least, maybe 30. No, she is 34 years old, which is interesting because I thought, based on how she acted, her childish teenage persona, that I thought she was closer to maybe my, like maybe she's 34. She is a millennial. She tries to act Gen Z and try to say hip and cool, but the more kind of cringe and can you kind of feel for her. You think she would be older. So that's all I have to update as of now, based on our little recap. If you want to watch more on her whole life story, you should watch. There's a YouTuber I just saw. There's a lot of them out there, but this is just a recap. I will keep an update maybe if she has another manic episode or something. Definitely go last 4. She has posted 3 or 4 now, probably closer to 4 of her like almost 2 hour. So and by the way, it's not a vlog; it's a live she did, and she just sits there crying. And I thought that's why she was younger, because she was connecting to an audience, but it turns out she's 34. So if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel. Also go watch my vlog of me shopping for clothes that I can't find because God knows our mall is empty. So shift chapters. So now here we are, mid like 2020 era. And time her context starts to shift. I mean, while the weight loss still exists, Amber's videos now often resemble chaotic and personal, diary like. She rambling, emotional, sometimes tearful, sometimes manic. Fans and people, even I would coin it as like her manic era, like 2022, 2023 era, still posting, health updates, but, and she always, can I be honest? I'm gonna be for a second, and then she would ramble about something that no one knows if it's true or not because the inconsistencies from years past was proving to be, normal. Some days it's motivational, other days it's very deceiving, and some days she even admits to be trolling or baiting people for views. I mean, we're talking of attention at this point too, but she's still not getting the attention she was thinking because her subscriber count pretty much capped at 255. At this point, she has like 100,000. So, critics and a lot of people who become part of her life, like Tom Pollock, plays in a factor. She has Halsey something. Some communities on Reddit and YouTube exist to analyze her everyday move, forming what we all call the Amberverse. Even when she's not uploading, people are still talking about her, and whether she likes it or not, these commentaries boost her relevancy. It's a toxic cycle, duh, of tension feeds in the drama, but the drama feeds views, and it works. Um, During July, she's going live a lot more consistently too. I mean, Amberlynn went vlogs to now posting hour-long streams. So where is she currently as of today? She's still uploading. She's still living in Oklahoma, by the way. After she moved to Oklahoma, she still has her three pets, and yes, she's still promising to start over, to change, to do better. Still loved and hated equal measures. Her subscriber count has kind of capped like 255, a long way from the explosive growth in her early years, but still impressive for someone who has turned a personal drama into a decade-long career. Amber Lamb is still a controversial figure by whether you see her in multiple, attracting somewhat of attention seekers, someone who lost, you know, what she used to stand for. It happens in real life and she becomes an entertainer. You know, it's just, she's a lot to handle.